Hey guys, okay, so I just have two more little segments about which personally this next video is my favorite part of the paper research like entire process. I am a much more of a creative person personally, so I love being put in situations where I can kind of go off on my own little free little tangent and use more creative aspects for my paper. So definitely coming up with great hooks is my favorite part. So there's like the three most like surefire way to have an awesome hook. The first one is use like sensory detail, like images. So starting off with like for our example, our Tahoe Beneath the Surface book, I wrote about the Native American basket weaver Solali, and I started off with imagine you are the last 10% of your tribe left, like decimated by white settlers. So the imagine and putting your reader in the shoes of who you're writing about, that's a great way to draw them in, because people love to talk about themselves and people love being the center of attention. So by drawing them into the paper themselves, that's a great way to draw them in and keep them there. Because really, when you think about these hooks, it's like you're hanging on by a thread. If your hook isn't there, they're not going to start reading, and they're definitely not going to keep reading. The sensory detail is the first great way. The second great way is with like really kind of like devastating facts, or just really like shocking facts. So for the Oceania paper, Ted Danson's brought up the fact that 90% of the shark population and other large predators were gone. So by starting off your paper with like a real bang, like 90% of the world's sharks are dead, or like in 50 years 90% of the world's sharks are dead. It just leaves your reader like, oh my god, and it draws them, because they're reading this and thinking, oh, how horrible. It just really pulls them in, because people, let's be honest, do you want to read a story about something that's like, oh, something so bright, or maybe something a little more sounds a little more drastic, a bit more dramatic? You're going to be drawn towards the paper with a bit more of a dramatic tinge to it. So that's another great way, with like a shocking fact. And then another way, another way that I've done several times is because I'm more of a music person, I find that it's really easy to start off with lyrics. So, but in the same way, if you're not really a music person, you could also do like quotes, especially because English teachers love to know that you have read more books than just the three they have assigned you. Starting off with a quote from another popular book or another like old like literature writer is like a great way to show that, hey, I'm not just educated on my topic, but I'm pretty well read too. So using quotes either from music or from literature, those are like those three ways are ways to get A's if you can really just use your own creative aspect to it. Don't really go for the more just like plug and chug method of, well, I said this, it's interesting enough. Like really go for your own creative spin on things. So those three ways. The first one, just to recap, was the sensory details. The second way was the shocking facts. And lastly, quotes. Quotes honestly will help you with so much. If it's a quote from a song or a book, or even the book you're reading right now, like those books, like just use quotes. I'm sure you'll do fine with it. So just remember those three ways when you're thinking of hooks, because really a good hook will set the tone for the rest of your paper. So just remember that, and have an awesome time, guys, and good luck.